Hi, just friends. This is the FIDE master Alessandro Santagati, and I'm going to analyze my games about the Llucmajor Open that I played this week. It was a very strong Open, and I played 9 games. I will focus attention about the key positions that I played. And okay, we can go with the first game in which I played as black. This game was very interesting because now black is without big problems because he has a good center, good development, but I need a plan to improve my position, especially the pawn d5 is under pressure and the white can simply play rook d1 and after that my queen on d8 is not so good. So I have to solve the problem about d5 and at the same time I have to find a way to take an advantage, also small, but to have a better position. And now it's important because, okay, try to think about that, how black can try to improve his position. At the same time, I try to see if the lab is working. And I remember that if you have questions, feel free to comment on on the chat on YouTube. And if you're not subscriber in the channel, you can do it easily for free now. It can be useful to follow new lives on something like that. Okay, very well. So we have this position which is black to play, and I say that the problem could be d5 pressure, can be how to take an advantage. On the other hand, I found this nice variation with d takes e4. The idea is that after d takes e4, white has to take the pawn, and there are only 2 options. Or white could take with the bishop, or maybe white could take with the queen. But it's not a big problem because if white will take with the bishop, I can, for example, weaken the king side, and okay, this could be a little advantage for black, so that's fine. And it seems quite dangerous for white did. In my mind, I think if I take with the pawn, b takes e4, white should take with the queen, and if this, that seems more logical for white. Now there's my plan, so bishop takes f3. I trade my bishop for the knight. It seems strange at the beginning, but now it's fine because the combination was that I trade the bishop for the knight, white has to take, and 95. Knight is attacking 2 pieces, queen and bishop. Queen has to go here. Now I take. Now so I trade the bishop and knight for bishop and knight. But the point is that in this position, I play with the same pieces, but with a strong bishop against a weak bishop. Because my bishop can take the long diagonal, but enemy bishop is very passive now. And for this reason, after b6, an important move to block this pawn, remove the queen from the open file, and block the white development. Okay, the bishop can be free to move, and now another important move. Level. At some time, I can take a very important and good file. So that's very good for me. Rook d8 to avoid the development. And yeah, that's fine. So I said, and after that, I think not big problem because, for example, she played e4. That's fine to allow bishop e3, bishop f4, or something like that. But after this move, I can play bishop f6. Now my bishop is very active because it can take the strong diagonal, and I cannot take the pawn because, for example, after bishop e3, I can take because if I take the pawn, for sure the bishop now is pinned, and I lose the bishop. For example, I think easily queen e2 is fine to win a piece for white. So I cannot take the pawn, but I can play to have a pass pawn or to make pressure against the e4 pawn. Because the main problem for white in this kind of position is that it's very passive, and white has to defend a lot of points, e4, b2, and black can attack, not b3 now, but can attack e4 on 48 from d4. So that's very good for black. For this reason, she played bishop f4, and I played c4. The move c4 is very important to take space to paralyze the white pawn b2 and to support the black attack. Now, queen b3, the idea is threatening this move, and maybe this not now because there is the queen, but in the future can work. And I'll simply rook a c8 because I, I defend the threat, and at the same time I can take on h6. So all is defended for black now, bishop e5, and I think this trade is fine because I can trade queen takes, e8, queen away, queen e5, c5, and I take a very strong position after rook d3 for rook b5, and now the position is I think much better for black because the point is I'll defend this pawn. In the game, for example, white played queen c1, but after queen e4 I have two attackers and have the idea to play rook d2, so I have good attack against the pawns. I can make pressure against f2, against e4, and now the game is completely won for black, I think. So after queen f4, rook takes b2, I simply took a winning position. So this was the first game that I played in the tournament. It's a lower active player, but it was a nice game. And the key moment was this position, which I can I have to pay attention about what to do to improve my position. Yes, maybe black is slightly better, but you have to find a way to improve your position. If you don't see this way, you risk to lose your advantage, and you risk to allow your opponent will improve his position. This could be a problem. So this was a very interesting game. Okay, we can get to see the second game that I played. We will focus attention in this video about the key positions. So, okay, let's see a second. I take the game number 2 now. Yes, the game on number 2, I played a very interesting game against a very strong grandmaster from France. His name is Demiet Hadrin, and it was a very nice game. At the end, I draw. It was a very good result for me. And, should the key position. So, okay, yeah. Okay, 1 second. Give me the time to copy it on Lichess, to paste the PGN. Okay. Okay, perfect, very nice. I think I will make a video about that to see all the game. But for this moment, in this live that I'm doing now, we can focus attention about the key moment. That was this, I think, in which I thought about what to do. I was white, so 1 second I can leave the board. Okay, so that's fine. I was white and I reached this position, move 14. This position is quite good for white because you have this pawn d4, could be a weakness because it's isolated, but at the same time it's a strength because white has more space, and that's very good. Now I had two ideas in this game. One was playing something like bishop a6. That at the hand was probably the best move for white. The simple idea is that this light bishop is a good piece for black, and a6 is a weakness. c6 could be so the enemy. Light bishop can be useful to improve the white attack and the white play on the queen side. So this was the main I did it had in the game, but I didn't play it because I thought that bishop takes f6 was better. It's a similar idea because after this it was played e5, and my first idea was knight takes d5. And I didn't play it because I was a little scared about this variation with bishop takes b2. Maybe it was playable, but very hard to calculate. The main mistake about this position was that when I started to calculate d5, so I mean bishop takes f6, bishop takes and d5, I underestimated the move bishop takes b2. So, for example, after that, I thought what to do here. I underestimated this because the problem is that the bishop is attacking the rook, and this bishop can allow queen takes c3. And when I started to calculate, I didn't see it. So this was the main problem about d5. If I suppose that if I see in the game bishop takes b2, I simply play bishop a6, and the position is equal. My mistake was this, but I think that after bishop takes, I can also play knight e4, and I can have a similar idea. So trade the pieces and then make pressure, use the knight, and something like that. So this could be an idea in this game, but I played the and making a little mistake d5 because after d5, e takes d5, rook takes d5. So now black is slightly better, and no, mistake because when black played the bishop takes c3, I was sure that I was forced to trade immediately because now my rook on d5 is without defenders. But in theory, this is not true because because uh, I have an interesting intermediate move. In this case, I mean bishop takes b7. That can help me to have a good position because if I yeah, there is rook takes d5. I can simply play bishop takes c8, and the position is equal, I think. The chess computer says 0-4 for black, but I think is equal. So with rook 8, after all this variation, the position is worst because it's also this move very interesting because after that I have to pay attention. If I take the knight, I lose immediately after queen g5. There is a double attack, and the position is completely lost, and nothing to do for right now. So here I have to pay attention, and I played. To be honest, I completely missed this at 94. Very interesting. The move 94 probably is very nice, but probably is not the best move. Probably black can take a better position after bishop takes, queen c5. This queen now is very strong, and black is slightly better after that. But with 94, this move is very nice. Play c takes d4, bishop takes. For sure now I cannot take because if I take the bishop, there is queen g5, and there is this nice double attack, and now I lose the game. So I'm bishop d5, and after that I play the rook c3 because my idea was okay, also rook e3 and also defend in this way. g6, rook e3, bishop e6, cover the squares and move the king because in that game the king is very important. And after king e7, I think king e7 is not the best move for black. For the trade, I was happy to trade, and rook d3, position is equal. In this game, I made some mistake in that game. But if white play well, it's very hard to lose this game because white for this time is very good. I think so. He played bishop c4, and I think it's not so strong for him because after king takes rook c7, king d3. If I play well, it's lose for white. I played the rook d3. This move is good because I can simply defend the pawn e3, and if black will trade, I think I will win that game. We can check with the latest computer, but yes, the position is winning for white. 1.5, yes. It's completely winning because after king f8, king e4, king e7, and king e5, um, white king is active, and this means probably that white will win the game. So we can remove the computer, and okay, so like this. I played rook c2, and when I played rook c2, there is an important difference if I take the rook on d3. Oh, sorry. If I take the rook on d3 or on d2, because if I take the rook on d3, for sure my king can go to d5, and this means that I will win the game. But if I play rook d2, after this I was scared because I saw that the black king can go to d6, and if black king can go to d6, it means that my king will go to c4, and I had not a lot of time in my clock, and I was not so sure about what happened in this endgame. Then I checked and I think this endgame is draw. So probably I could play also rook d2. Rook d2 was probably the best move here for me. But I was scared about that. I didn't play rook d2 and I played king d3. Played king f8, d3, rook takes, and now c3. Because now e7, take e7, and now rook a very good move to block my rook. This and back. Let's have to take a draw. So no problem after that. Is something. And now in a5, exchange. So I think was fine. I think king for tempo making. e5, king e5, b4. Another is a very interesting move because after rook e3, I thought a lot about that because, oh sorry, because I have two options, or take the pawn, so I mean take the pawn before, or defend the rook. And if I defend the rook, for example, with the king c4, the main problem is this move, and now h5. His idea is play g5 and h4, but I didn't see in the game that after king takes, oh sorry, I made a mistake. After f4, s6, king takes g5, f takes, and d5, I think, or maybe king c5. Let's see. Maybe I think king c5 or d5. Yeah, d5. Okay, h4. I take. I didn't see this variation with the king is going to hold the pawn, and if the black king will stop it, I have the time to block the black pawn. So for example, if now black will push, so I play king c5. Now the square is this, so I need inferior 2 times to go into the square, but at the same time I can push the pawn. So I didn't see that after, for example, the push, I go, and if the black will try to block, I can go, but I have to go to b6, because if I go to c6, the main problem is that black will promote with check and I lose the game. But if I play king b6, after this move, for example, I play this, black will take the queen, but I can take the queen q, and no problem for me to draw this game. And if after king c5, black tried to play this move, the main important move was king b6, and after, now it's impossible to stop the pawn because if king e7, there is king c7. So I mixed this in the game. I think it was not so easy. I need to with time, but it was very, very interesting. So when he played rook a3, I can play also king c4 to draw easily my game. Because when I play king c4, I think he must take the pawn. Maybe king f6 is possible, but I will take the pawn, and we have a similar position, and white is still good. Okay, so it's a bit the game, and after that I played this before. We took. Now black is better, I think. It is. Check is. And my only chance to draw this game is promote the pawn. If I this, push, f5, I play the king e6, check. Now it's important to have the king here because if the king goes to d7, this king is locked with the pawn, and if black has enough time to block to push his pawns, black can win that game with 3 pawns against the rook. So it's very important now. Pay attention, and I go back. After king f6, I play rook b8, check, check, I go back, and now it was a draw because black was carried that my pawn would go too quickly, and he can also risk to lose the game if my king would be very active to block the black pawns. For this reason, was a draw. But we can see what happened if black tried to win, and for example, after um, is try to play f4. Nothing is an easy draw because after d7, maybe we can see g5. We can try g5 or f3. I think g5 is better. Queen. Now black has to take, but I think this game is a draw because king e5. I go forward with my king, and now check this, black push, and check, king there. Okay, I can repeat the moves. Black to go here, take the pawn, and after f2, let's say because this doesn't work because check, this, okay, yes, but I can simply play check, yes, for sure, no problem. And the check, and they can draw because if black try to play it again, this move. And for example, king f1 doesn't work because take the pawn, for example, and not a big problem for me. After this, I play check again, and this is a draw for sure. So yeah, so then it was a game that it's very hard to calculate when you have few time. So it's not so easy risking this end game for black, but was still a draw, so not so important now. I think very important moment was when you have the decision to trade the rook and to go in the opponent game. For this reason, it's very important to study the opponent games very well because when you have few time, if you didn't study it, you don't have enough time to think, and if you don't have enough knowledge, it's very hard to play this kind of game. But it's very important when you play with strong players. So, okay, this was an interesting game. So we can say that my mistake was to push d5 too quickly in this game. Uh, I I missed something in my calculation this game, but at the end it was good because I took a draw. Okay, let's see to go forward with another game. So we can go to see the game number 3, and we will find the key moment. In the game number 3, I played against a good grandmaster from Latvia, Ilmars Starostis. I think is the right name. And I was black and move to the conversion position. Take now copy it in the page here. Okay, I paste. Okay, so I was back. So it takes 5 in position and it takes 7. And this is a very nice position because queen c7 is a tricky move. Because if you think quickly, maybe you think that you can trap my bishop with before, but this is not true. Because if you play before now, I have knight takes e3, and then I can take e5, and black is fine. I think now the right move for white is simply defend the pawn with queen f4, and this can be an idea. Maybe white is like better after that. But you played a mistake. You played b4, and after b4, knight takes e3 is a strong move. Now white has two options: or retake the knight on c3, or take the bishop on a5. If you take the knight, I can play queen takes e5 check, and I think it's forcing the king d2 because you have to defend the knight, and after that, after bishop d8 and bishop f6, black is better now, and not winning the position, but I mean black is slightly better after that. Um, my okay, so but he didn't play it. He played the b takes a5. That is completely wrong. But it was not so good too because I played a very bad move, knight takes e2. This was a very big mistake because if we think very well about this position, we can see a lot of weaknesses in the white position. e5 for this time is alone, c5, a5. The white pawn structure is completely bad, and but okay, this is bad for white, but at the same time we must pay attention and we must understand what's good for white in this game. For white, the good thing is the position is open, it's completely open. So a very good advantage for this time for white is the bishop pair. So if I can have a very bad pawn structure for white, and at the same time I can play without the bishop pair, I think the position is one or is much better for black. For this reason, now a very important move for black was 94, and 94 is very important because my simple threat is queen takes a5, and after that white has to cover with the bishop. So it's forced I think queen f4, queen takes, bishop d2. I trade all the pieces, and the point is that we are playing the same position, but without the bishop play for white. And after 97, I take an extra pawn, so black is up a pawn without the bishop pair. And for this reason now, black has a clear advantage and black can play to win. In the game, my mistake was that, okay, I took the pawn, but with the bishop pair, and at the end I lost because I played 92, bishop takes, d5. I took a lot of pawns now, but the problem is that thus bishops are very strong because the position is open and my king is not safe. So I propose a trade, queen takes, and after f3, I made a mistake because now for me it was important give the pawn and go forward with the development. Maybe could be knight c6 or 97 to go forward in the game. But my mistake was that I took the pawn, bishop takes, knight c6, a6. No position very strong, and at the end I lost the game for this reason. Um, so it was a very important point in this game. So pay attention about that. Okay, well, so this game was very important playing 94 because We force an endgame with a pawn up for black and without the bishop pair for white. It means a very good endgame for black. Okay, so this was about the game number 3, and you can comment if you want. Now I take a little break. I will go back in 5 minutes. I analyze for this time only 3 games. We have to analyze other 6 games. So okay, if you like the video, please click I like, and in a few minutes I will go back to see the other games.